Hola a todos, me llamo Andrea y soy la dueña de 21 Bridges. I'm the proud owner of 21 Bridges, and I'm so excited because this is the first podcast that I'm launching, and it's the first episode. So, welcome out to the podcast, the 21 Bridges Languages podcast. I'm super excited. I'm your host, Andrea Wilson, and I have a passion for learning. I have a passion for languages. I have a passion for students, middle school and high school, learning other languages. We focus primarily on Spanish here at 21 British Languages. But I think if your student wants to learn French, geometry, French, German, Japanese, Korean, go for it. Italian, they should definitely do that. And so I hope that this podcast can be a resource for you, whether or not your student is learning Spanish. We just happen to love Spanish here at 21 Bridges Languages. And who knows, one day we could branch out to other languages. So this is the podcast for you if you want to know how language learning can enhance your child's life and if you want resources. So today's podcast episode, I'm super excited about. It's answering the question, should your child take an AP language course? We're going to be focusing on Spanish, but please know that this content is also relatable for any language AP course that you're considering for your child. So first thing is, what is AP Spanish? AP Spanish is called AP Spanish Language and Culture. It covers 4 different skill sets: reading, writing, listening, and you got it, speaking. The class is taught primarily in Spanish, 100% en español, and that's a fact that I love my parents to know before they decide to put their child in AP language. Students explore 6 major themes. So those themes are family and communities, beauty and aesthetics. We have personal and public identities, science and technology, global challenges, and contemporary life. The course is scored 1 through 5, where 5 is extremely qualified. So if your child gets a 5 in AP Spanish or any AP language or any AP course, so to speak, they're able to transfer out of that class once they get to their freshman year of college. So they're very qualified. They receive full college credit, and they can skip a few semesters of Spanish in this case, or any other language. A 4 means they're well qualified. Many schools will still award the credit for advanced placement. So like, let's say your child would have to take a foreign language in college, which is typically the case for private universities, and they want to start your child at Spanish 1. Well, if they go in at a 4, they can actually place in Spanish 3. So they bypass 2 years of Spanish. So I think that's really cool. And then a 3 means they're qualified. So it's considered a passing score. Most colleges are going to give partial credit. So it still counts as those credits toward graduation, although they may not be able to bypass other Spanish courses in college. So if that's the goal, sometimes parents are a little bit upset about a 3. But a 2 and a 1 is absolutely no credit at all. I don't want to say the course was a waste of time, but I will say some parents do think if their child scores a 2 or 1, it is a waste of time for their student, and I do understand that as a parent myself. So what are actually the benefits of a student taking AP Spanish? Well, here are a few that I noticed for my students, but you can always see more benefits for your student based off of who they are as a foreign language speaker. So the first benefit I see is that they earn college credit, they save money. So if your child is earning college credit and their school requires 120 credits for them to graduate, they're already transferring in with a minimal 5 credits or 4 credits, depending on how they did on their AP class. But also, if they took other AP courses, they could be transferring in with up to 15 credits, which means they graduate a lot quicker and parents save money on the back end of tuition if they're not stipend by scholarships. Next, it does look really good on a college application. That's the main reason why parents want their students to take AP Spanish with me, supporting them. And so I do agree with that. It looks great on a college application, but that's only if they're scoring between a 3 and a 5. If they're scoring between a 1 and a 2, it's like, it doesn't look that great. But also, this is the one that I say, It's not totally a waste of time. It does give your child that real world communication skill set and that language that they're learning. Here's the thing, there are other ways for your child to get that real world communication language skill set by enrolling them in 21 Bridges, shameless plug. But also, they can also go to Spanish speaking restaurants, depending on what state they're living in, and try to immerse themselves in Hispanic culture through like festivals and other Hispanic activities in the area. If you're in LA, that's a little bit easier to find in places like Olvera Street. So my point is, they don't have to take AP Spanish to get the real life conversation, but it does help. So what are the challenges to consider? I'd say parents and students alike are sometimes surprised by how much time the student has to put into that AP course outside of their other courses. A student needs to plan for at least 3 to 5 hours. If a student isn't willing to get the 3 to 5 hours of homework, help, and writing and speaking practice outside of the AP course, they could struggle a little bit, or they could feel like they don't have enough support from the teacher, which the teacher is expecting the student to have a lot of foundational knowledge, which brings me to my other challenge. Sometimes students don't have that strong Spanish 1 through 3 foundation, and then their junior or senior year, they want to take AP Spanish because sometimes their parents don't realize the class is spoken 100% en español, that's 100% in Spanish, and so there's a disconnect. It's like a little bit of cognitive dissonance. It's like, well, I want my child to get the college credit, but the child also knows they don't have the capacity at the moment in their life to speak primarily Spanish in the AP course, and they don't have the time due to other extracurricular activities that they're into outside of school to really get to really challenge themselves in learning on an AP level. I think if your child has the motivation, which is another challenge to consider, if they have the motivation, great. But if they're not easily motivated in school, and they're not easily motivated with Spanish, and they say things like, I hate Spanish, I hate this, I hate that. Like they say that throughout Spanish 1 and 3. I don't recommend that student takes AP Spanish. How do you know that your teen is actually ready? Well, going back to that foundation of Spanish, if your child received between an A and a B consistently, easily, with minimal support of a tutor through Spanish 1 through 3, then they're a strong candidate for AP. Sometimes, in 21 Bridges, we tutor students in Spanish 1, Spanish 2, Spanish 3, and also AP is what's been recently added. And there are students who need some support in Spanish 1 because it just doesn't come that easy for them, and that's okay. But if your child was a C student, a D student, and they needed a tutor to become a B student, that's probably a sign that AP isn't for them. But if they constantly excelled at an A, and you came to 21 Bridges to give them more conversational support, they're going to be on a track to go into AP. So that's one of the reasons. If they love Hispanic culture, so sometimes I get students and they don't have a passion for other cultures outside of their own, and they want to take AP Spanish, and I'm oftentimes a little caught off guard because on one hand they want to take AP because I think they're like, I look great on a college application, but they don't realize how much culture, Hispanic culture, is explored, and there's that disconnect between Hispanic culture and just their overall American identity. Whole nother topic for a whole nother podcast. But your child's going to have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable if they're going to take an AP Spanish course. They need to have a zest and a zeal to learn about other cultures. And only you know that as a parent, and your student knows that if that's them. And they are motivated to challenge themselves, and they're willing to take a challenge. So some students I meet, they love a challenge. They come to the tutoring session, they want to do the hard stuff. And I'm like, that shows that student is going to be great for going into AP Spanish. Usually these students are 8th graders, 7th graders, and they've been in bilingual programs, and so they have that cultural immersion, and they're already kind of speaking at intermediate levels, so they come to 21 Bridges to prepare to test into AP. Those are really great candidates for AP Spanish. That doesn't mean that your student shouldn't do it if they don't have that cultural immersion background, but it means that they have to have some type of motivation. So Should your teen take AP Spanish, you let us know. You can visit www.21bridges.us to book a free student success consultation. In the meantime, que tengas un buen día. Espero que tu estudiante aprenda español. Adios. See you in the next episode.